Rising up from the Lake of Fire studios in the pit of your worst nightmares, it's time for Schmidt Talk. And now your host, Savvy Schmidt.
I want a hug when we say hello. I want a hug when it's time to go. I want a hug, cause I want you to know I'm awfully fond of you.
Would you hold it against me? Yeah.
Brothers don't shake hands. Brothers gotta hug.
Touch me in the morning, then just walk away.
Welcome to Schmidt Talk, the hugging episode. I'm your host, Savvy Schmidt. Whether it's a quick goodbye, a warm hello, or simply as a way to express your affinity for a certain person, nothing communicates affection quite as effectively as the hug. But did you know science has also shown that hugs are more than just a salutation or a dreaded imposition from your great Aunt Edna? They actually have scientifically proven benefits. And I was actually able to dig some of these up on the Huffington Post website. So according to the Huffington Post, here are some of the reasons why hugging is beneficial. They make us feel good. Well, everybody knows that. I think I read somewhere that they can release oxytocin. That's also known as the quote-unquote cuddling hormone. And when that's released, it makes us feel all warm and cozy. And this chemical has also been linked to social bonding, so good news. If you're hugging someone, you're also helping with your social bond. So, ladies or gentlemen, next time you get a crush on that one person, maybe consider rushing up to them and hugging them, you know? Maybe it's going to release the oxytocin and then, you know, get that social bonding going. Or you'll just scare them away and then, you know, it just probably wasn't meant to be in the first place. So, with oxytocin, it promotes feelings of devotion, trust, and bonding. It really lays the biological foundation for connecting to other people. So what a great connector. Also, the hormones that are released in the body after a hug aren't just for good, happy feelings. They can also help you physically. They can help with your physical health. So that's really, really good news. When you touch someone or someone touches you, the sensation on your skin activates pressure receptors called Panasian something corpuscles. Okay. Well, take it from the Huffington Post. These corpuscles send signals to the vagus nerve, which is an area of the brain responsible for lowering blood pressure. So, yeah, that's such a great thing. Oh my gosh, who knew? And I mean, we're not even a portion of the way down the list. We are barely just getting started on this list. So also, it looks like hugging reduces worry of mortality. So even if you're just hugging things, they say, like a stuffed animal, this can actually soothe your existential fears. They say that even fleeting touch or trivial touch, it might help people to deal with existential concerns. So this is so amazing. I just, you know, I read this book a few years back. It's called The Power of Touch. And gosh, this was like 10 years ago. And this book just stayed with me for some reason. This woman who had studied touch her whole entire lifetime, she was finally in her 80s when she wrote this book. And it was really amazing to me. And this might come up later down the list, but she did also mention that when you hug newborns, that can actually keep them alive. And I don't know if you know this, but a lot of hospitals now have cuddlers when the parents can't be there at the hospital with their newborn babies who are in intensive care. There's actually hospital staff that cuddle the babies. That's their job. Because it's so known that the benefit of touch is so essential that they have factored that in as being an important thing. And so there are newborn cuddlers to help keep them alive. I heard this study that you can feed a newborn, but if you don't cuddle it, it'll end up dying in about 2 weeks. So it's so important. And this is just so very, 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 very interesting. If you look at our closest relatives, speaking of closest relatives, that's Nikki. And this is what she's saying. I've got the most important job. And I'll see you on the other side of the break.
Sonny, this is the best piece of advice your grandpappy's gonna give you. If you want to be happy in life, go out and find you some gold diggers and game players.
But Grandpa, I've always been told to avoid gold diggers and game players.
No, Sonny, I'm talking about the Gold Diggers game online at goldseekersgame.com. Digging for gold is easy, and at the end of the day, you can cash out any credit you have for cash payout.
Grandpa, don't you think I'm a little young for that?
Oh, I suppose you're right.
Over 18, be your own gold digger and game player with real cash payouts. Now that's something to pass along. Just go to goldseekersgame.com. That's goldseekersgame.com. And get digging. Do you need an assistant, but you just don't know how to factor it in with your schedule or accommodate an assistant in your office? Well, skip all that. You can get all your tasks done remotely with a virtual assistant. Simply pay by the hour for any business needs. Whether typing, printing, answering service, anything you need, they can handle it. With multiple clients being Fortune 500 companies, there's nothing they can't do. Just go to expertvirtualassistants.com and enjoy the difference a virtual assistant can make.
Just a brand new album from Daniel Evans. It's called Ministry on the Mic, available on iTunes, Amazon, and CD Baby, featuring Ministry on the Mic.
It's that ministry on the mic, representing Jesus.
Glorifying you.
It's all about glorifying you, because we can't do nothing without you.
Also, Hope for the World.
There's only hope for the world, man, only hope for the world, because you know we all fail.
Daniel Evans' new album, Ministry on the Mic, available now.
I will name him George, and I will hug him and pet him and squeeze him.
I'm not a bunny rabbit.
And pat him and pet him and...
You're hurting me. Put me down, please.
And rub him and caress him and...
I ain't no bunny rabbit.
You're listening to Schmidt Talk.
With a great big hug and a kiss from me to you.
What do we get for $10?
Hold me, never let me go until you've told me.
We're back. You're listening to Schmidt Talk. And I'm with you here, Savvy Schmidt. Today we're talking about hugging. That's right. Talking about good old hugging. Whether you like it or not, there's a lot to be said for hugging. Before we went into the commercial break, we explored some of the benefits of hugging. And in addition to releasing happy hormones, happy chemicals in your brain, and also removing a lot of fears, especially irrational fears, hugging can also be good for your heart. Man, it's starting to seem like hugging is the perfect supplement. I really am going to have to get into this. And I'm going to get into that more later and tell you about how my own special hugging contribution to the world. Well, I don't know if you can call it a contribution, because really, I'd be benefiting too. So according to the Huffington Post, embracing someone can warm your heart. There was an experiment done at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, and it looks like some participants who didn't have any contact with their partners developed a quickened heart rate, 10 beats per minute, compared to 5 beats per minute among those who got to hug their partners during the experiment. Maybe that's why a lot of married people live longer. Maybe the whole sharing the bed thing, even if you just brushed up against your partner during the night, I guess that's going to be beneficial. And it says the older you are, the more fragile you are physically. So contact becomes increasingly good for good health. And of course, we all know about loneliness sometimes. So of course, this is a very good quick fix, hugging. Natural stress relievers, as we talked about earlier, can save a newborn's life. But if you really think about it, maybe you're really saving other people's lives too whenever you give them a hug. Certainly sounds like it to me. So the next time someone's feeling stressed out, the Huffington Post recommends just go give them a hug. That'll immediately reduce the amount of stress hormone cortisol. Hugs also make our bodies release tension, and hugs also send calming messages to our brains. That is amazing.
You're listening to Schmidt Talk.
I'm closing you in my arms, not for overweight than plastic any day. Hug me till you drag me, honey, hug me anyway.
You are listening to Schmidt Talk today, and today's episode is all about hugging. I'm your host, Savvy Schmidt, and I'm very, very happy to touch on this subject. No pun intended. As I mentioned earlier in the show, I did read a book earlier in my life about hugging, and I believe it was called The Power of Touch, and really makes you think. I never forgot what I learned in that book. It had a profound impact on me. It made a big impression, and I never forgot that. And so my whole life I've kind of been wondering, when you're out in public and people are kind of discombobulated, or maybe they're a little cranky, and then you kind of wonder after you read a book like that, and after you learn of the benefits of hugging, you kind of wonder if people might just need a hug. And you know what? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say I think so. I personally think so. I'm not a doctor. I don't profess to be a doctor or a therapist in any way. But based on what I've read, and I've done more reading than just that book and the Huffington Post article I mentioned earlier, I've actually done a little bit more reading, but it is definitely something to think about. So maybe the world just needs more hugs. Maybe the hippies were onto something. Okay, that's going a little far. I'm not recommending people go have sex with each other. I'm not saying that's what hippies did, but, the free love movement, I don't really know. And that's a whole different thing. So that's not what we're talking about today. We're just talking about good old squishy goodness hugs. Good old platonic, happy hugs. Warm and fuzzy hugs. Okay, I know there's different kinds of warm and fuzzy hugs. Don't get carried away. So anyway, as I was mentioning, I'm going to take the Hideaway Hugs van around the country later on, and I'm going to be having the most fun getting to know you guys, getting to know everybody, getting to know you, and it's going to be great. Spread the hugs, spread the love. There you go. Make a happier world. I think even animals like to hug, It's no question that a lot of animals are communal animals. I've even seen cats cuddling together, rats, rodents, pet store. They all benefit from that, If you've ever owned a pet rat, which I have had rats, and I know a lot of people that have had rats, and they're very, very sweet when you obtain them from a pet store and clean. And they actually recommend you get your rat with another rat, so it has a companion. I'm I'm going to venture to say I think that this is kind of along the same lines as the contact we're talking about. You know, these rats need to snuggle up, and they need to have their other little ratty with them, and they're going to snuggle into that little cute ball.
Oh, my pretty little pet. I love you. So I stroke it, and I pet it, and I massage it. Yeah, I love it. I love my little naughty pet. You're naughty. And then I take my naughty pet, and I go... Oh!
You know, I know, I'm getting carried away. So there you go. As I mentioned, today's show is all about hugs, love, and open-mindedness. So with that, we're going to take a little commercial break to show some love to our sponsors who help keep this show going. So when you hear these commercials, visit them, show them some love. They help bring you Schmidt Talk. And I love being able to bring you Schmidt Talk. So without further ado, here's a word from our sponsors. What kind of fan are you? Do you warn the running back when he's about to fumble? Do you predict the plays? Call penalties before the ref? If your passion is on fire, your new sports game app is FireFan.
Get ready to raise your game, because watching sports will never be the same. Introducing FireFan. It's a game changer. Finally, a sports app that puts you into the game. You predict the scores, you call the plays in real time while you watch and compete against sports heroes, celebrities, friends, family, or other diehard fans. The more you call it, the more points you can achieve. Also, be a loyal fan and earn loyalty rewards. Don't miss the hottest app of the year.
Go to firefan.com. Download your FireFan app today. Enter player rewards code IHathaway. That's player rewards IHathaway. Play the game, fan the fire, earn rewards.
If I had a word for every look, I would write the world's greatest book. It's a remedy I have yet to find. Since our destinies have fallen behind, I am the dream that you wanted. I am the dream that you feared. You are the dream that is haunted. You hold me near. You hold me near. You hold me near. If I had a brick for every day, I would build the road to heaven's gate. In your misery, you've laid down the line. Now I see I've wasted my time. Dream that you wanted. I am the dream that you fear. You are the dream that is haunted. You hold me near. You hold me near. You hold me near. It's a mystery. I gave you It's a mystery. I am the dream. dream that is haunted. You hold me near, you hold me near. I am a dream that you wanted. It's a mystery. I am the dream that you feel. I've captured my life. Dream that is haunted. You hold me near, you hold me near, still hold me near.
That was Lakota with Hold Me Near, which perfectly fits this edition of Schmidt Talk, which is the hugging episode. And as you might know, Lakota is Radio Love's featured artist of the month. So tune into radiolove.com, that's radioluv.com, to hear more of her great music. Since today's episode is all about hugs, I'm going to give you a few minutes just to listen to this beautiful song by the Platters, Unchained Melody. And they're talking, of course, of hugging.
Your touch alone, lonely time, and time goes by so slowly, and time can do so much. All you still more. I need your love. I need your love. God, speed your love to me. Lonely rivers flow to the sea, to the sea, to the open arms of the sea. Yeah. Lonely riverside, wait for me, wait for me.